What's going on, guys? So this is going to be my day 3 recap video and day 4 prediction video for ELeague Atlanta 2017. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to start with the results for today. On the day as a whole, I went 7-1. The only game I got wrong was Godsend versus Envious, which was a legitimate 50-50. And Envious actually came out really strong in this match, and Godsend looked really bad. But let's start with the round 3 high matches. So we had VP versus Gambit. I thought this could be a toss-up. I did predict VP, however I did think Gambit had a shot, and they did get it kind of close. They did get into double digits, but VP looked really good. All their players showed up today and they handled business, and they went out of the group 3-0. And likewise with Navi, they had an even more impressive performance against SK on Dust 2. Navi manhandled the defending champions, and they look really strong, and they end up going out 3-0. So both Virtus Pro and Navi have secured spots in the playoffs of the major. So then we had the round 3 mid matches. We had Fnatic versus Mouse Sports on Cash. Fnatic ended up winning this game. It was pretty close. I wasn't able to watch most of this game, but I do know that Mouse Sports kind of underperformed again, kind of like how I predicted, and Fnatic looked really good. The core of the lineup played really well. So then we had Godsend versus Envious. Envious just destroyed Godsend. I saw a clip of JW like crying after the match. Like it looked really bad. I don't know if Godsend can really recover, and this only adds to my opinion that Godsend's first win against Astralis was really just a fluke, and I think Astralis was just a little bit nervous heading into the match with all the expectations that were on them. Then we had G2 versus Astralis, which was on Train. Astralis handled business better than I actually anticipated. I did predict them to win, and they did. They came through. Yeah, G2 didn't look that good, to be honest. I think only Shocks and Body played well in RPK, but Scream and Smiths were non-existent. And then we had Liquid versus FaZe, which was on Nuke. This was a crazy game, a double overtime match. Luckily for me, FaZe pulled it out. I did put a bet on FaZe, and FaZe was actually down most of this game, but ended up coming back really strong in overtime. And it was a frustrating game to watch because I don't think Liquid really should have been in a position to win this game. At one point, Liquid was up 7-0. I don't know what happened to FaZe starting off this game, but they ended up pulling it together somehow, thankfully. Then we had the elimination matches for the day, which was North versus Hellraisers for the first one. On Mirage, North won this game in overtime. This should definitely not have been this close. North is a much better team than Hellraisers, and this just only adds to my opinion that North is not really well prepared this major, and I'm not sure if they're going to go much further. But Hellraisers did get eliminated nonetheless, and North did win. I actually put a bet on North because I thought this game would be pretty easy for them, and it actually turned out to be a struggle. North was actually down for a lot of this game also, which is like crazy. And then last game of the day was Flipside versus Optic. Again, this was a weird game. I considered betting on Optic, but I didn't, and I'm kind of glad because it would have been a butt clinch. Flipside played really well for most of this match. At one point, they were up 12-6 in the second half, and then Optic was able to claw their way back on Train. Yeah, these were weird matches. These should have been easy for North and Optic, but nonetheless, Flipside is eliminated, unfortunately for them. If they had some do-overs, I think Flipside actually could have been 2-1. They actually didn't look that bad, and come next major, I think Flipside could be a force to be reckoned with, surprisingly. So that leads us into round 4. So first we have the high matches, which are the teams that are currently sitting at 2-1. This boggles my mind. Envious versus Fnatic. One of these two teams is going to actually end up making it to a legend spot, which in my opinion neither of them really deserve that. They've played against pretty crappy opponents. They haven't played against any tier 1 talent. um, top tier 1 talent anyway. But nonetheless, one of them is going to become a Legends team. I'm actually going to go with Fnatic here. I think Fnatic is more trustworthy. They have better experience in the group stage and closing out matches. And I trust Dennis, Crims, and Olafmeister a lot more than I do the Envious Core. So yeah, I do think Fnatic will win this game, although this is a legitimate 50-50, and it can really go either way. But yeah, I think Fnatic will take this one, actually. The next high match we have is SK versus Astralis. This is it's a close one. I think Astralis is going to win this one and book their ticket to the playoffs. SK looked extremely weak against Navi, and SK also looked weak most of the game 2 days ago against FaZe Clan. So yeah, I think Astralis should win this one. They've got similar map pools, and Astralis look to be in better form as of late. And SK also has the stand-in. I think SK is still going to make it to the playoffs, but yeah, I think Astralis will go out tomorrow and handle business. And the last high match of the day would be Gambit versus FaZe. Even though I don't have Gambit as a team going to the playoffs in my Pick'em challenge, I am going to actually pick Gambit here. Gambit has looked extremely impressive, and it's very evident that Zeus has completely taken over this team and transformed them into a top tier talent that can take on anybody, really. He's done a lot of research, and for that reason, with the way that Gambit has been impressing, on top of the fact that FaZe looked really weak against Liquid, a team that this should beat every day of the week easily, I'm going to go with Gambit here. However, I do hope FaZe does make it out, because I do have them in my Pick'em challenge. Next we have round 4 low matches. So first game is going to be North versus G2. This is a tough one because neither team have looked pretty good. G2, I guess, has looked a little better because they did give VP a good fight, and they did beat Fnatic on day 1. So I'm going to look past their embarrassing defeat against Astralis and actually pick them here. I would like to pick North, however, the fact that they had to go into overtime in order to beat a team like Hellraisers is like a big warning sign for me. Before the major started, I thought MSO was really going to take this team at least out of the group stage, and now I'm losing faith. I do hope they prove me wrong, though, because I did pick them in my Pick'em challenge, but I think that North is going to be going home tomorrow. And next match of the day is going to be Mouse Sports versus Liquid. This is another 50-50 game, really hard to predict. I think that Mouse Sports will probably win. I say this only because I believe in the combo of Nico and Chris J to show up against Liquid, especially since they share a very similar map pool. And if the game gets on to Cash or Dust 2, Mouse Sports is they're golden. That's like their wheelhouse. So I think that Mouse Sports will actually win this one. But this is a 50-50, and it'll probably be close. Then the last match of the day is going to be Godsent versus Optic. So for me, I'm going to have to go with Optic here. Optic did look kind of weak against Flipside, however they did finally land themselves a win. And Godsent looked really bad. Back-to-back days, Godsent has looked really bad against both Gambit and Envious. So Optic has a stronger map pool than Godsent, and I think they should be able to take care of them. However, if this game ends up being played on train somehow, Godsent does have a pretty good chance. But I do trust Optic to win this one, and I think Godsent will be going home tomorrow. So yeah, so that's going to leave the pool of teams, in my opinion, of Envious, SK, FaZe, G2, Mouse, and Optic to face off against each other later in the day to determine the last 3 spots for the major. So that should be pretty interesting. When that pool of teams do become official, and the teams that are going to be playing against each other become official, I will make a video on my predictions in the middle of the day. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, that was my video. I look forward to day 4 of the major, and I think it's going to be pretty nuts, to be honest. And see you guys in the next video.